And welcome to another episode of the GamerHeads Podcast. My name is Roger. Along with me are my friends and co-hosts. We have Mike.
Hello.
And I have Phil.
Hello.
And a new blood, guys. He didn't bring donuts or coffee like I told him to, though. That's kind of disappointing. But we have Ryan.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Ryan. Since you're new, why don't you tell us about yourself and why did you decide to join GamerHeads? I'm just kidding.
And why were you forced to join GamerHeads?
Yeah. And how did I force you to join GamerHeads?
So, hi, my name is Ryan. I am a big nerd. I love pretty much far too many things to fit in like a 30-second segment. I was introduced to the GamerHeads by Roger here. He seemed incredibly nice and was like, hey, you want to swing onto a podcast? And I was like, hell yeah, I've never been on one of these before, but I'd be happy to join. And so here I am. I wasn't really forced. He only had a knife, so it could have been worse. But
it's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I like how you plugged that I was nice and I will give you your $20 after the show. So thank you very much.
Actually, a $20 off coupon. Don't believe it.
That's right.
Hey.
And the coupon is expired. So I'm sorry, but that's what I have. Okay.
It's the thought that counts.
Yes. Well, welcome, Ryan. I'm really excited to have you on the show. So I'm really happy to have you here. And I hope you have fun. That's the big thing. I hope you have fun. And if you don't, well, sorry.
If you don't worry. The rest of us don't either.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Speaking of, so 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I said on this very show, not this episode, but 2 weeks ago, I said that that we were going to have rotating podcasts, and Mike was going to host one, and I was going to host the other. And after I aired that episode, what was the town in South Dakota? Aberdeen? Is that the?
Yep.
I'm not allowed to say the name.
It was Aberdeen, South Dakota. The citizens of Aberdeen, South Dakota, messaged me and said, "Dear sir or ma'am or whoever."
It's a very formal letter. Then
it was a very formal letter. We will no longer listen to the GamerHeads podcast if Mike is to host the podcast. He has offended us. And we will never forgive him for what he has said. I don't even know what you said, honestly.
Again, I'm not allowed to repeat that.
Yeah. So
that's why he was gone from the show for 2 weeks, is because he pissed off Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was doing his penance.
Now it's deservedly so, because now I'm starting to get angry again.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to give you another 2-week break if you make them
You're
mad.
gonna get one anyways, Mike.
Yeah, that's true.
Pavement. Thinking sons of anyway.
So that's why I'm hosting the show, and I'm sorry, Mike. I mean, you were going to get a pay raise, you were going to get a promotion title, but the good people of Aberdeen said no.
They're using the term "good people" very loosely.
Ryan, you're not from
Aberdeen are loose.
Oh God, you're not from Aberdeen, are you, Ryan? Right? You're not from Aberdeen. So okay.
All right.
I just thought maybe he was a representative. They're
out to get me.
Hidden boss or something like that. Isn't that secret boss or something? Anyway, welcome to the show. Wow, that was a really long welcome. If you like what you hear, leave us a review. We'd love to hear what you have to say about the show. You can leave us a review on iTunes, on Google Play, on Podchaser, and I'll leave a link to the show notes in our show notes to Podchaser. You could also follow us on Twitter at GamerHeads PC. You can also send us an email if you want to get a hold of us at info@gamerheadspodcast.com. That's how the good people at Aberdeen, South Dakota gave us their email. And you can also go online to our website at gamerheadspodcast.com, where you can see reviews, podcasts, episodes, news articles, all these really fun things. Gamerhead, yes, coffee, the Gamer Grind coffee that sponsors us. It's all this fun things out there. Ryan, I know you've been out to GamerHeads Podcast.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I clicked on the website and I did go through some pages. I was like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm sure you did. So but check us out. We what was that, Phil? We would
Cleaning my camera, right? I've already blown my nose on camera, so now I cleaned it. At this point, all bets are off with what I'm going to do on camera. Just be happy I'm wearing pants.
Okay. All right. So, COVID. Wow, this is a crazy show. Anyway, welcome to
That
the
was
show.
last year I had that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still recorded.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's a good point. That is dedication. But anyway, welcome to the show. So this week we have a lot to talk about. We have a couple games that we've been playing. Phil has a game that he's gonna be talking about that Mike picked out for him. Before we get into all of that, though, we do have an icebreaker. And gentlemen, since the Super Nintendo turned 30 years old, my question to all of you is, what is one game that you would love to see on the Nintendo Online, the Switch Online, that's not currently there for the Super Nintendo?
Is there an order? Usually you call out who to go.
Phil will go first then.
I was going to do my normal bitter, I don't really care for Nintendo self, but I put approximately 30 seconds of thought into it right before you asked the question.
Okay.
And I came
that
up
sounds
with
appropriate,
all of,
by the way.
Yeah, it's actually 25 seconds more thought than I put into anything else that I do regarding this show. So I would like to see all the licensed Batman games, like the animated Batman and Robin games. I would like to see Batman Returns. I want to see Batman Forever. Well, I raised my hand.
You did. No, Batman Returns is really good. I love that game. It's
I
so
was
good.
legit gonna say that for my thing. So I'm like, oh, I was super excited. Like, oh my god, someone else loves Batman Returns. It's so good.
Well, just throw all the other licensed superhero franchises in there too. I know it'll never happen, but get all the Marvel games in there. Maximum Carnage, the X-Men game, all that fun stuff. Just throw it all in there. I want to see all the licensed superhero games.
Yeah. No, the Batman, I did not play was Batman and Robin on the Super Nintendo? I know it was on Genesis.
The animated series one was, and they were different on both systems too, which made it even more fun. Yeah, they were completely different games.
Oh, I did not know that. I mean, I played the Genesis one. I didn't play the Super Nintendo one, so that's pretty cool.
Still own the Genesis one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really hard. But the Batman Returns, I remember I was the first of my friends to beat that game, and I absolutely love that game.
And pixelated Michelle Pfeiffer in a cat suit.
Yes. I mean, one of my first crushes, actually. So there you go.
The pixelated version?
Yes, the pixelated version was one of my first crushes. Yes.
All right. I'm not judging.
Yeah. Thank you.
We've all got our thing.
All right. Thanks, Phil. Good pick. I guess, Mike, I'll have you go next. What game did you pick?
I picked two games. Ooh. And I think, Roger, you know what both those games are.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
The two greatest games ever released for the Super Nintendo. Even though you can still buy both games on the eShop, it still should be on the Switch Online service. And those two games are, of course, Out of This World and Flashback.
No.
Yes.
Game. Those games are not
absolutely without a doubt the best games. Those are the best games. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, on the box art it even says the greatest game ever made.
See, Mike. Oh, you are Ryan. This might. Oh,
well, no.
Sorry.
Honestly, though, I mean, aside from those two games, they're already on the Switch, so they don't count. But you got to go Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the best games.
Yeah, I forgot that those other two games are Super Nintendo games. Actually, if I would have known that, if I remembered that, I would have never had this question. So,
I could find a way to don't test me, man. I could find a way to put those games into any answer.
I'm sure you can.
Is there a Super Nintendo version of Ski Sniper?
Oh God.
I thought if only there were, that'd be awesome. I would love a version of Ski Sniper.
Yeah, no thanks. What about you, Ryan?
Sunset Riders. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
Sunset Riders. That's good.
Action shooter game. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My buddy found it in like a garage sale last year for only like $5, and he was like, "We got to snag that right now." Went back to his place and we played it literally all night long. It was so much fun.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah,
that's Sunsoft.
I think
Konami?
it's Konami.
I think it's Konami.
Was it?
Maybe I think you're thinking of Wild Guns.
Oh, yeah, I think you're Wild Guns. Yeah, Konami is the
Konami.
Sunset Riders. Yeah, I think
As
Wild
he pulls
Guns
up the clip, and the first thing that pops up is Konami logo.
Yeah.
Totally Sunsoft.
It's such a great game. It's so good. I liked it more than Contra, and Contra was like the big thing back then too.
Yeah. That's a good pick. For myself, I mean, I was gonna pick the Batman games, and then my other pick was Turtle in Time. I don't know. I don't really have any other picks outside of those. I don't know. Like the kind of the Zombie Ate My Neighbors. Is that on the?
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's on this. Oh, it is. Okay. Then Turtles in Time. I would say Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time, I will say, was the first game that I bought with my own money. And I was very proud of that. And I remember begging my mom to take me to Kmart, which was because my hometown, we didn't have any kind of store or anything. And I said, can you take me to Kmart? They have a copy. I want to buy this. And I think it was like $50 or $60 too. So it wasn't cheap.
Oh yeah.
I was very, very happy. And so I worked, crappy summer jobs so I could buy this game. Because that's all I got paid was $50. So I can buy one game. So
well, then fine. If you're going to take mine, I'm going to change mine, and that it's going to be the Mortal Kombat trilogy.
Oh, that's good.
So that way you could play online.
Oh, that would be sick.
Oh yeah, that would be good. That was on the Super Nintendo, the Mortal Kombat trilogy. Really?
Actually, there were 4 of them
on
on Super Nintendo.
Really?
Wasn't Shaolin Monks? Was that it?
Shaolin Monks was,
I believe,
PS2 and Xbox.
I'm trying to think. Was it the one? So now I'm getting confused. I think it was like Sub-Zero was like the main character.
It's Mythology.
That was the.
Yep.
That was on N64 and original PlayStation.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And we don't talk about that one because it's not a good game.
I liked it.
Oh my God.
It's not as good as Flashback.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, how old was I? I was probably like 6 or 7 when I played it. So I mean, my opinion could totally change. But like when I played it back then, I was like, this is peak quality content right here.
Yeah, I wonder how different like games now if you play them. Like how, like for me, I know like I'll play a game, I'm like, it's not as good as I remember it. But I remember Trilogy. Was Trilogy also Mortal Kombat Trilogy? Was that also on PlayStation as well?
Mortal Kombat Trilogy was N64 and PlayStation.
Okay.
But that's where they actually released all 3 of them on one disc, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like the 3 of them individually like it was on the Super Nintendo.
Right.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat Trilogy was essentially like Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate.
Okay. Because that's the whole reason I bought a PlayStation actually, was because of Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
It wasn't
Trilogy.
Resident Evil.
That was a good choice.
No, not because of Resident Evil. I did play Resident Evil. But yeah, so yeah, cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of, I would still say Super Nintendo is still a game that, or a system that I can go back and play anytime, because I absolutely love it. Like, we talk about Batman and Turtles, just like the graphics are so great. So good. It was a good time of gaming.
But I wanted to add one more quick thing because my mind exploded when I thought of it. And I was like, how is this not on there? Final Fantasy 1 and 2. I mean, not Final Fantasy 1, but like Final Fantasy 2, which is Final Fantasy 4.
4, yes.
On there.
Yeah. Is it not?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh.
Because if it
Probably
was
not.
on there, then I'm a fool and I should have been playing it by now.
I don't. It probably isn't. But sorry, not. I know this is Super Nintendo and they're 30 years, but rumor has it that they might be bringing Game Boy games to the Switch Online. So that's very exciting.
At least put them in color.
Hopefully.
Well, and again, like Super Nintendo had quite a few like licensed games and just weird games, right? But it feels like Game Boy had a lot more weird games that we probably won't see on the system because it's just the licensing rights and stuff like that. But there's a lot of strange Game Boy games. I'm like, really? They made this to a Game Boy game? Really? We'll see. I don't know. But listeners, you can let us know what games you'd like to see on the Super Nintendo online, Switch Online. You can send us an email at info@gamerheadspodcast.com. You can send us a tweet at GamerHeadsPC. You can also go to our website at gamerheadspodcast.com and leave us a message there as well. All right, so let's move into the games that we're currently playing. And Ryan, I'm going to start with you since you are new to the show. What games are you currently playing?
I have been currently enjoying Monster Hunter Stories 2 on the Switch and Destiny 2 over on the PlayStation there.
So how is Monster Hunter Story 2? Tell us, do you have to play the first one?
You don't have to play the first. I would say yes, play the first one, but 2 is its like own contained story, but it makes like a lot of references to Monster Hunter Stories 1. Like the cat that you see there, he's like, hey, I'm like a legendary warrior, and like he did a bunch of stuff in the first game. So like you could play it without playing the first one, but like if you want to get all the nods that there is, because there's a lot of nods, definitely play the first one to get into the second one.
And is this one, like what I've heard is that you're not really fighting monsters, you're saving monsters, is that right?
No, so in Monster you do slay monsters, but it's you can like it's similar to like Pokemon where you have to like go in, get a monster, and then you can like level it up, you can train it, like have it have different like stats and stuff. So say you have a monster that spits fire, you can change it so it not only shoots fire but also shoots water too, which you wouldn't normally have to do. So it's like you're modifying Pokemon in a sense, but like the best way to go about it is you fight a monster, it runs away, it goes into its den, you go into the den, and then you can like dig for eggs, and you have to try and get a specific kind of egg. It'll do like a music cue and different like light effects depending on its rarity, and the rarer you have, the better monster you'll have. But yeah, they're still slaying into it, so you can make your armor and weapons still.
And this looks more like anime. Is that correct? Is that kind of how the gameplay is too? Is it more anime like this?
It's turn-based combat with a rock paper scissors system. And it is very anime with its like special effects where it's like doing like all these like quick cuts and stuff, giant beams of energy coming out of swords and all that jazz. And I think there is an anime based off of the first game. I don't know if they did one for the second one.
Okay. And is it online? Can you play online with people or no?
Yes, there's actually a PvP battle mode that you can face against other hunters in the game. They believe
really?
Yes. And there's also co-op missions too.
Oh, there is. Okay. Because I have Monster Hunters, the new Monster Hunter Rise, right? Is that the one? You can tell how much I played it. I have it, but it's just, to me, I think it's so, this is going to sound bad, I love RPGs, but it's really complicated because there's a lot of stuff. And if you step away from this game, I feel like the Monster Hunter Rise, at least, that when I come back into it, I'm like, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing. Is this less complicated?
Way less complicated.
Okay. I should have bought this game then. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Actually. If you are more of a fan of like traditional like RPGs, absolutely Monster Hunter Stories 2 is like the better choice. Monster Hunter Rise is definitely heeds back to more like old Monster Hunter, because I've been playing since the second game on PSP.
Okay.
And if you are not keeping up on it, you are gonna be lost, and you're gonna be like, I don't know what this is weak to. I don't know what weapon I should use against this or that.
Yeah.
This one, it's like, hey, there's 3 weapon types: piercing, slashing, and blunt. And it's like and it tells you what monster is weak to what after you hit it. So if you hit it with a sword and it's like X, and it's like, okay, that's not as effective. Try a different weapon. It's like, boom, it has like a sparkly thing. It's like, it's weak to this.
Okay.
And so like you don't need to like have certain builds or anything just to get through the base game. You can go through pretty easily.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly, this looks really intriguing. I think I might consider picking this up because this does look really good, and it looks right up my alley. And I mean, I do like the fact that you can raise the monsters and kind of customize them. I think that's cool. Very cool. And then you also said you're playing some Destiny. Is that right? Destiny 2?
Yes, the game that keeps pulling you back in every time you try to run away.
Well, you're with a good group of people because we try to do a lot of like raids and dungeon runs and stuff like that. But so what kind of character are you playing and what are you doing in the game right now?
I'm trying to make a warlock as my main. But I've been playing as a Titan because there's nothing better than flying around as a lightning Superman with the code of the missile. It's too much fun. But yeah, I've been just doing mostly story content. That's what I love about Destiny is the story. It's just
really
so freaking good.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. This is this is where I think we disagree because I actually really hate playing Destiny for the story. And here's why. No, here's why. Because every time I jump into this game, they come up with like a new season, and then I'm trapped in this new area, and I'm like, what is going on? I don't know who this Cyrus person is, or who this woman Mauve or whatever her name is. And instead of allowing me to play with my friends, I had to play through this whole like 20-minute mission about characters I don't care about. And I appreciate the fact that they have a lot of deep like legacy and story behind this, but I just want to play with my friends and I don't want to sit through story. So, but I appreciate the fact that you like it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's holding back his anger.
No, I just don't know what to be like. I get it. Because cool. I want to hop into Crucible. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And you got Billy Baba Ganoush being like, listen, we have a war with the Cabal.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh, I don't want to go to Mars. I want to go into Crucible and poop on people with my friends. Like, that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is an option to just skip it, but there definitely should be like a thing where it's not where you turn on the game and you're right there. It should be like you go in, choose your menu. Are you going to do the story? You're going to do the PvE? You're going to do the PvP? Like, that's how it should be. But it's wacky.
It wouldn't bother me so much if it wasn't like every time a new season comes out and then all of a sudden where I was, I'm like warped somewhere else. And I'm like, what is going on here? If it was, hey, there's a new season, there's a whole new storyline. If you want to go do that, go do it. Here's some quests on the map to do that. But it's literally drops me in a place that I've never been before, and I really lost, which makes me even more confused around the story because I'm like, who are these people? How am I should I know these people? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I appreciate the fact that you like the story, and I want to like the story. It's too this is gonna sound bad. It's too deep. There's just too much. There's too much lore. There's too much lore.
Yeah, I feel like if they definitely did like, as you said, like if they shouldn't be kicking you out of like where you are. Like where you are should be where you are. Finish what you're doing, then get back, and it's like, oh hey, this is the new story segment. Check it out, and it's like, okay, then you start it. Like throwing you right into it, and especially with the amount of lore there is, if you don't keep up, it's like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah. But you should.
I almost wonder if they didn't. Sorry.
No.
I almost wonder if they didn't add all of the lore in game because so many people complained about the first game lacking the lore unless you went online to the website to like figure out what was actually going on with everything. Like nothing was really explained in game in Destiny 1, where Destiny 2 does a really good job of over explaining everything.
That's what I really like about it. I love just like reading like all the things that are happening. It makes the game feel more alive. I know that sounds weird to say.
No. I mean, I agree.
No, like it gives you a purpose instead of just like going through just randomly killing a bunch of shit.
Well, I mean, most people that play Destiny are there for the shiny gun that go pew pew that makes bigger explosions than the other one.
Yeah, but see, this is where I think there's a fine line between too much lore and not enough lore. Like I look at Elder Scrolls Online, and we tried playing that as a group, and there's just so much story and lore that I'm like, I don't care about any of this. And then when you play with other people, half of them care about the story, half of them don't. And they're just like, oh, just go talk to this person. All right, now let's go over here. And you're like, what am I doing? What's going on? Right. But there's like Elder Scrolls Online is there's so much lore that it's overwhelming. And I know this might tick off some people, but I feel like Destiny 2 is getting to the point where it's just overwhelming with how much lore and content there is. But that's just me.
Oh no, I totally agree with you. I can definitely see like that being incredibly overbearing for players.
Yeah.
Roger also hates firefighters.
I do not. That is,
he says that.
I don't like poorly written games about firefighters for sure. That's a true story. Or poorly acted games with with people that are actors that are not firefighters that are poorly acted. That is true. That is a true statement. But has nothing to do with firefighters. It has to do with games that are bad. That is a true statement. Anyway, moving on. Ryan, anything else?
I did just one thing I was just adding about playing Destiny. Did a raid last night. These guys were like, oh, we beat the raid like 100 times. It'll be really quick. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll do it in like an hour. And they were like, oh, we can do it in 45 minutes. 4 hours later at 3:35 in the morning, I'm like, yo, I gotta go that
bad. That's one thing. So that happened when we were playing as a group too. Chris and Matt, they're like, hey, can you jump on and help us with this raid? And I was like, or whatever the is it raids? I don't know, 3-person, whatever the 3-person strikes. Can you help us with the strike? And I was like, sure. So we jump on, and they've been running through this for like the last 2.5 hours. And now they're getting to a part where they're like, we really could use a 3rd person. And we were on until like 2:00 in the morning. And I was just like, you guys, we can't beat this guy. And they're like, no, we can. We're so close. We are so close. I'm like, I don't want to keep doing this at all. I just want to go to bed. We're so close.
Was it the black and white orbs guy? Dark energy and light energy guy?
No.
That we tried?
They were upset that we didn't beat that, by the way. They were like, we're so close.
Dungeon?
No, we weren't so close.
We weren't so close, though, yeah. That was really frustrating. I don't remember what that one was. That was really frustrating. But no, there was one where like there was these guards and there was this witch and these like 3 guards came and you had to kill them 3 times. And it was just really frustrating. And I was just like over and 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 over again. And I was like, guys, I just want to go to bed. No, we're so close. We figured it out. We figured it out. Now we can do it. Yeah, like 10 times. I don't know if I counted 10 times, but it was really long. I mean, even I'm getting tired just thinking about it. That's how awful that was, traumatic that was for me. But they would love to have you on. Like, if you are a Destiny runner, they would absolutely like. What is your light level? What is your light level?
I'm at 1329, I think 1328, 29.
Okay. 1320. No, I'm just kidding. That's really high. I think I'm 12 something. So I'm just teasing you, right? That's good. You would. I think you would have fun. They're a good. It's a good group to run with, but too much for me. Anything else?
That's it.
Mike, what have you been playing?
I just got one game that I've been that I've been playing that I'm going to talk about. So I bought a long time ago off of Amazon this little Game Boy. It's one of those things that it's like, this comes with 3,000 games on it. So I'm like, all right, $60, what the heck? And I was just going through it, and I started playing a game that I was absolutely blown away by. It's funny that we were talking about Game Boy. So the game that I was playing is Bionic Commando Elite Forces for the Game Boy Color.
Oh.
And I was shocked at how well this game was made. It is I love the original Bionic Commando. It's a Capcom game. You're basically, you've got a grapple arm. I always like games that had like grappling and swinging effects. I always found that to be fun. But you can't jump in the game. You can only use this grapple arm to get to different levels and stuff. There's stages, there's bosses, there's things you could unlock. Like I said, the original Bionic Commando was really difficult for me, but I still enjoyed it. And I think there was another game that was Shadow Complex. Was that like a spiritual, like a love letter Bionic Commando? I'm not sure if the guy had a.
I can see that. I love Shadow Complex.
Yeah,
sorry,
that's okay. It was a good game. But when I'm like, all right, I'll give this one a try. And the first thing that struck me was the thing that I'm an immediate sucker for is the animation. The animation in the game is incredible, and especially considering this is a Game Boy Color game. But it's essentially, it's kind of like almost Metroidvania, just a tiny bit, because each level you have to, it's not just a straight move left to right. It's just a big like area, and you have to go find certain things, or you have to find certain doors and go into them and turn off a computer or upload something like that. So there's missions and everything. But it's very classic. It's very old school. But again, I found myself like coming back to it. I'm like, all right, this is keeping my interest, which again, it's something that not a lot of Game Boy games have done, just because of the quality of the system.
Yeah.
But like I said, the biggest thing was the animation. So I was a big fan of it. And to make things even better, if you didn't go out and purchase one of these handy dandy Game Boy multiple games in one systems, I just found out that the game is available on the eShop for the 3DS.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, can you still access games on the eShop?
Yeah.
3DS? Oh, you can. Okay. Oh, wow.
I actually just went to the Nintendo website, and you could buy it. It gives you the option to purchase it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This looks really good for a Game Boy Color game.
If anybody,
looks a lot like the original on the NES.
It does.
A lot faster though.
Yeah, a lot faster.
Yeah, and if those of you who are actually just like listening to the show, be sure to check out what are we on YouTube. Check out the YouTube page because there's some really good video of the game right now. But again, it's the controls are tight. I mean, it's made by Capcom, so they make quality games. But again, like, for a Game Boy Color game, this is like a really, really good game. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, it looks really good. Is Bionic Commando in the same universe as Commando?
No,
there are separate universes.
Right.
Okay.
You're talking the Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle?
No. There was a game. Wasn't there a game called Commando?
There was.
Yes,
that I think Commando may have been Data East.
You're right. You're right.
No,
you're right. You're right.
Well, now I'm curious because I don't know. That just popped in my head. What I want to see who.
No, it was Capcom. Commando was Capcom.
Oh, it was. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I think Bionic Commando. I think that they're in the same universe. I think so.
Oh yeah, it is Capcom.
I think they're in the same universe.
Well, either way, it's still a good game. There's no throwbacks to the original Commando, if that's what you're wondering.
Okay. Well, yeah. No, that's cool.
Oh,
that's
you can also charge your gun. Like, there's a lot of interest. Like, if you hold down the shoot button, you can charge a more powerful shot. And there's a spread gun that you can unlock. So any game that has a spread gun is A-okay in my book.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, it looks really cool. I might actually check this out on the 3DS if it's reasonable enough.
$6.
$6. Okay. That's a good price. Anything else?
That would be it, my friend.
Okay. What about you, Phil? What have you been playing besides the Phil's Plays games?
That, and besides the usuals as well. Although, did I tell you guys about the time I drained a 99-foot putt in PGA Tour? That was pretty awesome.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
We've heard about that several times.
Yeah,
but every time it keeps getting better.
And it was still 99 feet each time. It's not like a fishtail where it keeps getting like it was a 105-foot putt. No, legit 99-footer. So the first game that I played has been on my wish list on the wonderful handheld system known as the Switch, way back since our Nindy Focus days, and it finally went on sale, and so I picked it up, and it's a game called 80's Overdrive.
Oh yeah, how is that game? I saw you playing that, and I thought That looks amazing. Is it good?
The entire time I was playing it, I thought to myself, I really think Mike would love this game. It is a wonderful throwback to 80s racers such as Outrun, Rad Racer, all that kind of stuff. It looks almost identical to them, plays almost identical to them. Graphics are obviously a lot more updated than they were in that. The soundtrack absolutely blew me away. It's all this beautiful, sexy synthesizer stuff that just feels like it's straight out of 1986, and it just grooves. And I want to say there's 18 tracks worth of music on it, and they all definitely have their own unique flair and style to them. Graphically, it's just super on par. I'm going to play a lot more of this game. I've got a feeling. I started out playing career mode, and I want to say I'm on about the 8th or 9th race, and it's just, it controls exactly like you would expect it to, but again, just pristine graphics, and it just goes, and it controls really, really tight. And every time like you cut off a driver, hit another driver, they make these little angry emoji faces over their heads, or the smiley face emojis if they blow past you. Your car does take damage as the race goes on, so you can blow your car up, which I had happen to me in one race because I didn't get it fixed the race before because I'm a moron. And then it ends up costing you more money because you got to call a tow truck in the middle of the race. And so it spends all of your money on that. You also have a gas tank, which is limited, but you just refill it whenever you want to refill it. The video is now showing somebody scrolling through the song list where it's 18 songs worth. But it is so pretty. It is so fun. It controls very, very tight. And I adored my time with this game, and I will be putting more time into it.
Do you know that they're coming out with a 90s version of this game too? Like the 80s?
Sweet.
Yeah, and 90s. Yeah.
I will play that as well.
Looks like this game also is a track editor.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
It does. And it also has time trials as well. And right now on the eShop, I shouldn't say right now on the eShop, I picked it up for like $1.99, and I've got to say it's well worth the $1.99 that I paid for it. I think full price is maybe $10. So it's right at our cutoff line for the gaming on a budget.
Yeah.
Which is why it was never selected. But this game is super slick, and it's an absolute blast. Any of us that were alive back in the 80s.
Wow. I might have to pick this up. Yeah, it looks a lot like Rad Racer and Outrun. It looks really cool.
And it plays just like them too.
Yeah, that looks awesome. So without the 3D glasses. Wasn't Rad Racer with the 3D glasses, right? Wasn't that
Rad Racer? Or maybe the second one. The first one was all like this, I believe.
Well, yeah, you could press select and it turned it into a 3D mode. And if you had the 3D glasses,
maybe that's what it was, yeah.
I remember my friend had that, and I was like, this doesn't look 3D at all.
Things back then didn't, except for Jaws.
Yeah, except for Jaws.
And Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
And Freddy's Dead, yep.
That was an awesome last 30 minutes of that movie.
This looks really cool.
Yeah.
I think I might pick this up. Yeah. Anything else?
Today I decided to dive into Psychonauts 2, which I've been meaning to do for a little bit of time. I played through the first Psychonauts many 16-ish years ago, and I would say I'm maybe only about an hour and a half, 2 hours into Psychonauts 2, but so far it is absolutely beautiful as far as graphics are concerned. It's everything that you would expect it to be. The hype train on this game is real. The controls are really tight. The writing is absolutely spot on because Tim Schafer, I believe is his name, Double Fine, always does a wonderful job of writing his games. And it's nice because you don't necessarily have to play the first game to play the second one. It starts off with just giving you kind of the recap of what happened in the first game and then dropping you to where you are in the second one. It's my girlfriend walked in as I was playing it and goes, "Are you watching a Pixar cartoon?"
Oh, really?
I'm playing a game. Yeah, like that's just, it's so tight. Like it's incredible looking. And it's very, very quirky, and it's made me laugh a couple of times. Yeah, I found it kind of amusing too. I shouldn't say amusing. Amusing is going to be the absolute wrong word for this. But as you first fire it up, a big warning comes across the screen that says, this game does deal with mental health issues such as PTSD. It names off like 6 or 7 other conditions. And it's like, this is nothing that we're making fun of. This is something that we're taking seriously. This is like the game is exploring those things and trying to get people past those things. If you are in fact suffering from any of these things, like definitely get help and talk to somebody and make yourself a better person. But it also did say like dental phobia or something like that is also heavily featured in this as well, because the first level is all about teeth, man. Like you're basically platforming your way through somebody's mouth. And so there's a lot of teeth action going on.
Interesting.
But there's a big open world hub that I just recently got to in the game where, because in the first one you were at like Psychonauts scout camp basically,
yeah,
and fighting your way through it, whatever. This one you've finally been recruited as you're part of the Psychonauts, but you're a intern. I want to say maybe it wasn't even intern was the word they used. So you're just kind of getting your feet wet within the Psychonauts themselves, and you're trying to solve who stole whatever the other character's name is. You're playing as the same person from the first one, Raz. Holy crap, am I talking fast and just rambling? But it's adorable. It's super tight. I don't have any complaints with it so far.
I played the first one. I haven't beaten the first one, but I played the first one. So, but it sounds like I don't need to have beaten the first one to play the second one, right?
No, definitely not. It gives you the recap as to of everything that happened at the first one, all the way up to the end of it, and then like kind of tells you a little bit of the story so far of just Psychonauts 2, and then just kind of drops you into where like stuff gets real.
Ryan, do you have Game Pass?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because this game's on Game Pass.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it downloaded right on my Xbox Series X over there.
Oh,
just
wow.
Waiting to play. I tried playing the other day, but my kid was eating the controller, and it just wasn't happening.
As kids tend to do at that age. So very cool. I think I have it downloaded too. I just haven't had a chance to play it yet. So
yeah, if you're a fan of 3D action, old school action platforming games, it's definitely worth sinking your teeth into. No pun intended with the dental stuff.
Cool. Anything else besides the game that you're gonna be talking about later?
Not that I can remember, but it's been 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, 2 weeks. I mean, it's crazy because like how much gaming I got in during those 2 weeks. It's actually kind of nice. So the first game, I'll talk about my games now, guys. Please be quiet. It's my turn now.
All right.
Just kidding. Bye, Phil. So the first game I'll talk about is a game that I returned back to and I absolutely love, and that's Ghosts of Tsushima. Tsushima. It is so good. That game is so good. The thing is, I'm taking my time with that game. I am just going through the whole world and just exploring. And just, I haven't gone here yet. I got to go explore over here. I have to go over here. I have to explore over here. And just, I just love how gorgeous it is. And my new TV that I got, it looks even better. I'm just like, oh my God, this looks so good. And it just plays so well. And I love the story. So I'm not, again, I'm taking my time. I'm trying to get every side quest and every little thing I can find. So I just completed the side quest with the sensei with the bow, and his protege or his student that went up to the dark side, I guess. And it's such a great story, and just the emotions behind the game and everything. I love it. So good.
This game was my COVID game. When I had to quarantine for 10 days when I had COVID, I just absolutely wailed through Ghost of Tsushima, and pretty sure I explored every crevice of that island because I had the time.
Yeah. Ryan or Mike, have either of you played this game?
Yes, I did play Ghost of Tsushima. The first act, I believe. I don't remember how many acts there are, but the act where you saved your uncle, like you went and you fought the Mongol, you saved him, and your uncle's like, oh, now we can liberate the entire island. I did everything on like that section of the game. I spent probably like close to 30 hours just doing that stuff. And then they were like, we have this whole world to explore. And I look at this giant map and I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, I spent so much time loving. I'm like, oh, I love this game. Like the lore, everything that's going on is beautiful. And I was like, I put in so much amount of time. I'm like, I feel content. But yeah, seeing that second like huge island, I was like, I can't do this.
The messed up part of what you say, Ryan, is that's the end of Act 1.
Oh!
And then you get to Act 2, and that second island opens up, and then you finish Act 2, and they're like, oh, by the way, the actual fortress is on this third section of the island. That third section opened, I was just like, sweet hell. I'm loving this game, but man.
Well, and now they just came out with the director's cut, which adds a whole new island saying, oh, there's a whole group of people over here that actually fight everybody. They don't like the Mongols or the like the samurai. So it's really fascinating.
It's a huge game.
Yeah.
It's
so
God
good.
bless everyone that can get through all that content, because like when I saved him, I was like, I'm good. I'm like, you don't
That's
need
the
it
game.
anymore.
And that's the
There's
game. Yeah. I set out to save my uncle. I did it. Game over.
The beauty of that though is like the saving of the uncle is just the tip of the iceberg as far as the story goes. Like it just gets deeper and deeper after that, and more complex and interwoven, and like it gets nuts after that as far as the story goes. Like you save your uncle and you're like, yay, we're all good, we're gonna liberate this, and then like all of a sudden everything else happens. You're just like, oh, so everything that happened in the first 40 hours of this game is kind of just washed away. Cool.
Yeah, but you feel really powerful like after a while too. Like your character just feels like he like with a different technique. And then the great part is like in the beginning he doesn't feel that way, right? And he's kind of, you know, he goes
into his skin.
He does. I love this game a lot. And just it's so gorgeous. It's such a pretty game. So
the combat in this, as well as like Assassin's Creed and Batman, all just make you feel like the world's biggest badasses you play, because it's all that just counter based and counter based combat, which you kill like 10 guys in a row and you're just like, I'm the coolest man walking the face of the earth right now. Nobody can touch me. Come on, bring it. And then the big bad comes in, just whoops your ass. And you're like, all right, I'm nobody.
Yeah, exactly. Mike, you haven't played this then, right?
No, and I think I'm okay.
Okay. All right.
I ain't got time for this.
Oh, okay.
I don't blame you.
I was gonna say it's not because you love Spider-Man, right? That's an open world game.
Yeah,
but Spider-Man was 25 hours to do it.
Yeah, Spider-Man
this is 150.
Yeah, that's true. But look at that. Oh God, just sorry, listeners that are listening to the podcast. It just showed like his 3-step standoff, and it's just so awesome. I just love it. And I remember when I first saw this trailer, I was like, I need to play this game. Like I need to play this game now. Because it reminds me a lot of Tenchu. I don't know if you remember that game Tenchu at all. But I loved the game Tenchu. You're a ninja assassin, and like all the cool stuff you can do in that game. Doesn't look as good as this game, obviously, because it's a PlayStation 1 game, but it reminded me a lot of like Tenchu. The fact that you can throw down smoke bombs and like assassinate people is so good. Cool.
I think if you want the Tenchu feel, you go for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, though.
Yeah, I wanted to get that game, and I was told you won't like it because it's a Souls
hard
game. Yeah. So that's why I haven't. I've often said they're good. Yeah,
they're all like majestic, like type of like mystic creatures and stuff. It's so cool. It's gorgeous. If you, I would highly recommend just giving it a try, like just renting it out or something, because it is really, really good.
Okay. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll come to like something like a Game Pass. Oh wait, is it only a PlayStation game?
No, it's on Xbox.
No, it is. It's Xbox. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that will come to like Game Pass, and I'll be like, because this happens every single time. I buy a game, and then like a week later, it's like it's on Game Pass, and I was like, why? So that's Ghosts. And then the other games I've been playing, I'll mention here quickly. The other one, I've been playing Spelunky 2 on the Switch. And so it was on sale. I think it was on sale. So that's why I picked it up. And I enjoyed the first one. So I was like, I need to play the second one. And, you know, it's really good. I really like it. The story is you are the daughter of the characters from the first one, and they go off to the moon. I think it's the moon or the Mars. I think it's the moon. They're beckoned by like the curse from the first game, and then they leave you behind, and then they never return. So then you go to try to save them, and I don't know. I mean, it's you know, it's Spelunky. It's great. It's really hard too.
It's really hard, yeah.
And you know, and what's great about, you know, these games, and this is what always impresses me with speedrunners of these kind of games, is the fact that that they these are all random, right? So how is that possible that they can speedrun this stuff? I mean, I know there's elements that are the same, but holy cow. Like, just to watch people speedrun these kind of games is really amazing. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this game a lot. Anybody fans of Spelunky here?
I love the first one. Like, yeah. I mean, that game, I used to do the daily challenges and everything. I never really got very far because it's so frustratingly difficult.
Yeah, it is. But it's really fun to play on a Switch. I really do like it a lot on the Switch. So it feels really perfect to be on a Switch. Oh gosh, I don't know why I was like just watching the screen. Was, oh my god, he's gonna die. It's not even me playing. So that's Spelunky 2. And then the last game I'll mention here is a game that I am or that I reviewed for the site, and that is Prinny Presents NIS Classic Volume 1. And that includes 2 games. And I will say they're older games. They are from the early 2000s, I think it was. So they're both RPG games. They're both strategy RPG games. The first one is Phantom Brave. So Phantom Brave is a game where you're this little girl, and she can see ghosts, and she's bringing ghosts with her back to life, basically. Like, she binds ghosts into like things on the in the world that you're fighting, or in the landscape that you're fighting. So like either rocks or trees and stuff like that. What's interesting about that is that with the game, you can only have the ghost out for so long. So like each ghost can only like show up for like maybe, I don't know, 10 rounds or whatever the case is. And then after that, then they disappear, and she can fight, but she's not very good at fighting. So you do want to, and I made the mistake the first time I was playing this, is I threw all my ghosts right away, and then all of a sudden they're just like, okay, they're done. I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to die now. So there's a lot of strategy around that. The other game that comes with is Soul Nomad, which is another game from the early 2000s, and this also a strategy RPG. This is an interesting game where your character that you're playing has given a sword, and embedded in the sword is the spirit of this demon that tried to kill the world 200 years ago. And then like this witch or wizard type person, she like captured his soul, defeated him, but she couldn't kill him, so she put him in a sword, gives you the sword, and like you have to go kill the world eaters, which were his minion, and these like huge giant creatures they had to fight. And you can use his power, but the more you use his power, the more like you turn into the dark side, and he's always trying to convince you to use his power. It's really fascinating. So I love both games. I love the strategy RPG aspect of it, and both of them are really unique, and I haven't played strategy RPGs similar to either of these before. Couple things. One, I don't know if you can tell it on the screen here, but the graphics are kind of muddy, especially if you're on a big TV and you're just like, ugh, like that looks old. Like it's not updated at all. So, but I can live with that. It just doesn't look very clean. The thing that really turned me off, and it's not so much with the first game, but with Soul Nomad, they use a lot of language that is not really appropriate for today's world. Like
they're not woke.
They're not woke. Yeah. You know, even in the early 2000s, I'm like, really, were you really saying these things back then? I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe. But I was just like, I don't really like some of these terms that they're using, and they call people certain names, and it's derogatory. And I just thought, come on, at least clean that up. Like, how hard? I think they even redid the audio for this game, because the audio, I think, originally was in Japanese, and this is all English voice acted, and it's really good. The voice acting is really good, but yeah, I think they could have cleaned that up a little bit. But I did review that game on the site. You can read a review on the site, read more about what I had to say about the game. I did give it a B- because of the fact that I feel like they could have cleaned up the games some before saying, here you go, especially like at the cost that they are at. So that's what I've been playing. Let's move on then to the game that Phil has been playing. What is this game called again?
Crossbow Blood Knight. But Blood Knight is one word and not with a K.
Games for Phil. So this segment, Ryan and listeners, this segment is where Mike works really hard. He goes through the eShop. He puts in all this really hard work to find the cream of the creme, the best of the best, the
cream of the creme.
I don't know. It's not even. That's not even a thing, is it?
You know, it works.
Why wouldn't it be?
Delicious frosting on top of the zinger.
That's right. Oh, those are good. Those, I used to not like those as much as Twinkies, but then I was like, what am I talking about? These are way better than Twinkies.
They all just taste like Cub Scout camp to me.
So he goes through the eShop trying to find the most weirdest, craziest descriptions of games, and then Phil plays them. So this week was Crossbow Blood Knight. So tell us about this game. Well, first of all, Mike, do you have the description up?
From the developers of Postal, Brain Damaged, and Elderborn comes Crossbow Blood Knight, a fast-paced single-player FPS arcade game with classic horror vibes. Master the occult powers of your automatic crossbow and fight for every second of survival against a relentless demonic horde.
Sounds like fun. Phil?
When they say automatic crossbow, they're not messing around, man. This thing fires off more rounds than an AK-47. Like, you hold down that trigger, it's just with no reload, which
wow, look at that. Holy cow. Yeah, look at that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's you just seriously fired away. Oh, and by the way, what you're seeing on the screen right now, that's the entire game.
Oh.
It is one level. It's all just this arena-based survive as long as you can. You build souls up when you start killing some of the boss creatures, like that big kind of Venus flytrap looking thing that's there. And after 45 seconds, if I remember correctly, your first like main enemy appears, and he's kind of this wolfman type of a thing. And also that's about the same time that you can use your ultimate power, which you hold down right trigger.
That thing right there?
I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, that's the thing actually. Yep. So here's your ultimate power too, and that just lets out this like flurry of everything in your way dies, like a hail of arrows, and it's just all about surviving as long as you possibly can. The gameplay is very, very, very fast. I think the longest I survived for was about 2 minutes, and I put a good like 10 to 15 rounds into it. It's not an easy game, but it's amusing in its own right. There's no depth to it, but it is all just survival mode, one level. Like there's no variation of the levels or anything like that. It's all just in this exact same arena.
Is there leaderboards on this thing? Like,
yep, there's leaderboards,
there is.
both global and friends. Yeah, I cracked the top
awesome.
900, I want to say.
Oh, nice. Good job.
Though I don't know how many of the people are playing it, but I felt like 2 minutes was a pretty solid run.
And how much you paid? What, $1.99 for this game? Is that right?
$1.99 for it, yeah.
And I think normally it's $4.99, like $5, I think.
Yep,
I think so, yeah. Due to the shallowness of it, I don't necessarily know that I can recommend it at $2.99, just because it is very, very shallow. Like there's no upgrades to anything. There's nothing that you can do to anything. It's all just about like sitting here with the crossbow and mowing down people, or zombies and wolfmen and Venus flytraps and whatever else might come your way.
Do you get new monsters then after a while, or is it all kind of the same? I mean, maybe it's hard because it only lasted like 2 minutes, but in that time,
person to tell me that. So, in that time, yeah, I definitely saw, because you start out with just the original zombies, and then the Venus flytrap things. They shoot bats out of them, so those count as 2, so that's 3. And then the Wolfman-y type of the thing comes out. And then I want to say, like, at about the 2-minute point, something else even bigger came out, but I died, like, right as that happened. Okay. So I don't know if it continues going or however many different ones there are after that. But it's moderately intense, and the main reason why you die is because you backpedal into things.
Yeah.
You're trying to avoid other things.
Like in this video, which is really interesting. Like that's how I'd play this game for sure. Oh yeah, look at that guy. There's like some.
Oh yeah, that's the guy that showed up at the 2-minute mark. That's the guy that killed me because I questioned why there's a jump button in it as I was playing it, and then he showed up and I was like, oh, I have to jump his ground pounds.
Okay. Like how does it feel though? Like does it feel like
it's fast? Like I'm not kidding. Like everything about it is super sensitive and super fast.
But I mean, it controls well.
It controls well enough, but it's a very touchy control is what I'm saying when I say it controls fast. Like you nudge it and you're spinning 45 degrees. It's not a nudge to 10 degrees or whatever. It's a.
Do you feel like it was more of a tech demo of like, look at cool stuff we can do, or?
No, I think they were just trying to put together a fun little arena shooter, like survival arena shooter. And I think they pulled off, if that's what they were trying to do, they pulled it off well enough.
Okay.
I think the fact that they had leaderboards in there was like, that's important. If you're going to have a game like that, you have to have online leaderboards.
Yeah, agreed. I was thinking the same thing. If they didn't have leaderboards, then I was like this, because I mean, there's plenty of like, I think of like arcade. This is very arcadey. Like this is the way I see it, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to pick this up. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. So,
the sale lasts for like another 9 hours or something like that.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to check it out. I mean, well, yeah, $4.99 is still not too bad. So
it's not worth the $4.99. At $1.99 you can see some value in it, but it doesn't have the highest amount of replayability except for to try to just climb the leaderboard.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, Mike, do you have a game picked up for this week?
I do have a game picked out this week. Now, it's not a new release, but I had to pick it because I love this description. All right, here we go. Do you want?
Wait,
and I know
is this the game that you wanted to play? That you wanted to see what Phil thinks of it, or is this a game that is like a bad description?
It's just I picked it based on the description. The game I wanted Phil to play was one of those pipe games. One of those pipe dream games.
Yeah.
So sorry, Phil. Roger told me not to.
Yeah,
that's okay. I play pipe games every night.
Hey-o! Okay. Anyway, all right. Do you want the name of the game or you want the description?
Hit me with the description first.
All right, here we go. Times have come to test you as a worthy ninja. Increase your abilities, trow your journey in order to fight for your love.
I just want to say, Mike is reading it verbatim of how it's written up. So he's not having a stroke. This is how it's written.
This is exactly how it's written. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna blank the name. Blank is a 2D action RPG platformer. The game aims to immerse you in its fantasy world full of deadly traps, various enemies, and mysteries to discover. Player impersonate as fearless ninja, passing through dangerous fantasy worlds on his mission to rescue his beloved princess who got kidnapped by a Dracula from her castle. Journey into the unknown as an unskilled fighter with each step. Each defeated enemy and boss will bring crucial experience in order to prepare young warrior in his final battle against powerful vampire.
Gets powerful vampire.
This game is The Legend of Ninja. It is currently on sale, 60% off for $1.99. It released October 8th, 2020. Now that we're getting into the fall season, we're getting into Halloween season, so this seems like might be pretty good. Yep. So that is the tale from the eShop this week.
Okay.
Sale ends September 14th, so you still have plenty of time to get it.
Okay.
Not that I'm a procrastinator, but if I was.
Let's see if I can I'll send.
I don't even know if there's any videos on it.
No, there is.
Oh.
I sent our producer a video on it, so let's see if we can get that to pull up here and we can look at it. So
my favorite part was that you have to save your beloved princess who got kidnapped by a Dracula, not the Dracula.
By a Dracula.
It's that Dracula family. I mean, you gotta look like Alucard's the son of Dracula. There's a bunch of
That's
Draculas.
true. Which
means there's several Draculas.
Who was I just talking to?
Dracula?
Yeah, I think it was a Dracula that I was talking to, and it said, are you a Dracula? And he said, well, yes, of course I am. I'm a Dracula. No, actually, you know what show here it is. Here's the game. What is a ninja?
Boy.
Ninja's fighting against, this doesn't look bad, actually. This doesn't look bad at all. Look at it. Teaches you how to jump. That's amazing.
Hey, you could jump in this game.
Yeah, you could.
How about
If
that?
I'm a ninja and I can't jump, I'm the worst effing ninja in the entire world.
That's true. What do you need coins for to fight against a Dracula? That's my question.
To buy caltrops,
Like, what just happened? He just died.
more shurikens.
Yeah.
Yes.
You laugh as you see this. I gotta play through this shit, all right, Roger? Like, you laugh as you watch the video, and I have to actually pick the controller up and deal with how janky these controls are gonna be.
Why is
I think
there?
that's why he's laughing.
Why is there a tiki torch?
A Dracula's on vacation in Hawaii. A Draculas can take vacation.
A Dracula. Take your girlfriend, the princess. It's not even your girlfriend. It's a princess. Or it's your beloved princess.
It's his
right?
beloved princess
That's
who got
true.
kidnapped by a Dracula
Yeah,
from
but if
her
you-
castle.
But if he went to Hawaii, I mean, maybe that's not so bad. Maybe she's like, that's not so bad, actually. I kind of
Well,
enjoy it. Here.
That's a spoiler for the end of the game. You get down, you
Yes.
kill a Dracula, and she's like, "What the hell did you kill my slam piece for?"
Oh, this game.
The
looks so good.
Dracula's in another castle.
That's right. Sorry, Ninja. The Dracula.
We're sorry, Legend of Ninja.
Yeah.
The Dracula's in a different castle.
It would have been funnier if the game was called A Legend of Ninja.
Legend of a Ninja
A Legend of a Ninja.
and Dracula.
Oh God, this looks so good. I can't wait to hear about this game.
I think he made shuriken out of like garlic cloves.
Hey, there you go.
No kidding.
See, see, right. You need to be like a beta tester
Yeah,
for
that's
these
right.
games and provide very important feedback.
Yeah. If he's gonna be fighting against a Dracula, he needs to have some garlic. Oh, that's a great idea.
He needs
In
to have
fact, he
a
needs
garlic,
He needs to have a garlic and a whip and
a steak.
And his
Nice.
his steak will be like just a very pointy garlic bread.
yeah, that's
Just
right.
in the form of a cross.
That's right.
Just a
Take
cutscene of him whittling cloves of garlic into sharp
Yeah.
points
Yeah.
so he can huck him at a Dracula.
There we go.
I would play that game. I'm not gonna lie.
It'd be even better if you finally get to Dracula and it's just the letter A with fangs.
Just straight up Sesame
this-
Street shit.
Yeah, this game is right on the nose, man. You know what? I would seriously give it more props if that was the case. It's
I
like,
know, right?
like it's just the letter A with a cape and fangs. Like, kudos to them for making it interesting.
Damn, it really is a Dracula.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, we broke Roger. This
Turns
time it took a
into a
little
lower-
bit longer.
Oh God.
Turns into a lowercase
God.
a and flies away.
Yeah. And then you finally get his health
God.
all the way down. And he goes, "This is not even my final form," and then he turns into a B.
Oh no!
It's a B. And then you're like, "Oh crap! I know where this is going."
I see where you're going with
Yeah.
this. It's like, ah.
You got 24 other forms that we got to deal with.
Oh my God. Oh, that would be so great. I would totally play that game. I would totally play that game.
Some
We should
needs
make a
to
game-
develop Alphabet Dracula.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. No, just call it a Dracula.
Or just A-Z Dracula.
To be
Yeah.
continued.
Yeah, to be continued. Oh my God. The number 2B. Oh my God. That'd be
Oh, yeah.
great. Oh, I cannot wait for you to play this game, Phil.
Thanks,
cannot
Roger.
wait.
I really appreciate your support.
I'm excited too. I'm really
I like how Phil just like projects all his anger to Roger, but I'm the one
Yes.
making the decisions here.
It's because I like you, Mike.
Aw.
Wow.
I like you too, Phil.
Speaking of vampires, though, did you guys see the show What We Do in the Shadows came back?
Mhm.
Season 3?
Yes.
I still haven't watched it. I love the movie, but I didn't get into the series yet.
Oh, the series.
was
is
that
so
like
good.
was that like a YouTube show?
It's on Hulu or
Hulu.
Netflix.
Yeah,
It's on Hulu.
it was on
Yeah, I
Hulu.
did
It was
see that was on
originally
Hulu.
it was originally a movie directed by, and I'm gonna butcher his name, the guy who directed Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Oh,
Taiki
yep.
Waititi? I think
Yes.
is his
Yes.
Sure, that's close enough.
So
And he also directed some Mandalorian episodes too. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I really want to get into the show because I think the show. I thought the movie was just hilarious.
Yeah, the show is. Oh man, Tanya and I just absolutely love that show. We were just they just came back on the 9th or the 2nd, of September, and the first 2 seasons were launched, or the first 2 episodes of this season have been launched. Oh man, it's so funny. If you haven't seen, Phil, you've seen the show, right?
I have not. I don't really watch
haven't?
much of anything.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's very, very rare that I should take more time to watch things, but I've got this weird addiction to something called MLB The Show that takes up all of my time once I get home from work, and then I just play that.
What are you at, 17 days now playing that
Yeah, dude,
game?
it's stupid. It is seriously stupid. I gotta do something. I don't know. I gotta cut myself off somehow, and I'm not sure how to do it. 'Cause the second I delete it, I'll just reinstall it, and then I'm just wasting time.
But no, this show is really, I mean, I wish I would have came up with that idea because it's so funny. I absolutely love that show, and the acting is so good. It's so good.
Can I go half off topic for a second and talk to Mike for a second about comic books on the air?
By all means. I mean,
so Mike, this just came out this week as well.
Oh, look at that. We got another comic book.
Army of Darkness 79.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the first issue of it, and I thought that I forgot to mention that one to you the other day via text, and well, it was still in my brain. I figured I'd mention it before I forgot about it.
Oh, thank you. Is it worth it? I'm going to the comic book store tomorrow.
I haven't read it yet. I'm just now touching this week's comics. I finally did last week. I caught up on those today while I sat at the car dealership for 3 effing hours.
Oh, okay. Ryan, you're a comic book fan as well?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm trying to get every copy of King in Black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It was a good read.
It's really good. I'm loving the whole lore that they have with the Null and the God of the Symbiote. Like, I love everything Spider-Man, so it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
And
Nice.
Donny Cates is absolute fire right now, and he wrote
Yes,
all
he
that.
is.
Unfortunately, Venom came to an end, but like his Thor run's been really good too. Anyways, no comic book tirade. Sorry.
No, that's cool. Anything else? Anybody else want to bring up something at the end of the show that's off topic? Please.
Are you mocking me now, Roger?
I got nothing.
I'm just teasing.
I can't even think of anything witty.
All right, well then let's end this show. Before we head out though, let's go around.
As Garrett says, thank God I'm trying to go
yeah,
to bed.
Yeah, I know. Garrett's like, Garrett's our producer, and he's just like, please end the show already. So let's go around and tell people how they can get a hold of us. Ryan, how can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, TikTok, all underneath Silent Bates. I'm on everything is just that. You can see all my wacky nonsense that I like to post on there, and I like to do a lot of giveaways too for free Steam codes since I'm subscribed to Humble Bundle, and I have too many, and I'm just like, please just take them, just take them.
Or some people say to you, can I just get the cash instead?
Yeah, that blew me away. I'm like, listen, it's a code giveaway. He's like, you just don't have the cash for it, and I'm like, no, and then I blocked him, and then he just said some outlandish and horrendous things to me, like,
wow.
I won't even say on here because I don't know how much I could use in the language. So
wow.
What's your Twitch page again?
Silent Bates. I think that's on all lowercase though, for some reason, but I typed it in as
Bates like Norman?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I give you a follow. Silent Bates.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll what I can do is I'll set it up when you stream. GamerHeads Twitch channel will also host you as well. So
oh, cool. I'll make sure to do that on my Twitch page, so whenever you guys post your stuff, I'll have it all set up.
Nice. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us this week, by the way.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been a total pleasure being with you guys, and it's really nice to meet you all.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
So yeah.
Phil, how can people get a hold of you?
I really debated just giving out my phone number there, just see if anybody would hit me up. But you can reach me on Twitter at bnow23.
Okay. And Mike, how can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter and on Twitch at TC Throwers. And I might as well throw it out there. You can check out the newly revamped. Actually, it's not revamped at all. It's just as terrible as it was before, the Controller Throwers podcast. It is. And I also got to throw out there, I just started a new podcast. If you're a fan of all things horror, come check out Horror at Home. We talk about the world of horror and most specifically streaming horror. So if you have streaming services and you're looking for some good picks, give us a listen.
Yeah, it's a good show. And I'm very excited that TC throwers are back. So that's exciting.
Thanks.
And listeners, you can follow us on Twitter at GamerHeads PC. You can also follow us at our website at GamerHeadsPodcast.com. We also have Facebook as well at Facebook.com/GamerHeads Podcast. If you want to send us an email, you can send us email info@GamerHeadsPodcast.com as well. That's pretty much all the ways you can follow us. Oh, and Twitch. We have Twitch, twitch.tv/GamerHeadsPodcast. So you can follow us there too. But yeah, you can go out to our website, GamerHeadsPodcast.com, and you can find all our social media there as well. Before we head out to the other thing I want to mention, so the B Squad, that's Chris, Ed, Matt, and Candace. The off weeks, they call themselves the B Squad, by the way.
They challenged us.
They challenged us? Oh yeah.
During their podcast last week.
They did.
They threw down the gauntlet and challenged us.
Yeah, they said they want to take us on in some games. So Ryan, you're on our team. Sorry, but
I'm ready to go.
Okay. So the other thing I will mention though is, and they mentioned this on that show too, on their show, the show, is that Extra Life is coming up. So we were originally going to do it on November the 6th, but I'm actually going to be out of town that day. So we're going to move it a week ahead, which actually works out really well because it's Halloween weekend. So the 10/30, so October 30th is when we're going to have our Extra Life event. And I plan to do this all day, and we're going to have prizes. We're going to have giveaways. Last time we did this, we had like console giveaways. We had like a lot of really fun things. So we'll have some games to give away. We'll have a lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I will be streaming one of the I can't believe I'm going to say this. One of the tiers is that you can $1 per vote or more if you wish. I'll have 4 different games out there, and whatever horror game gets the most votes, I will stream at night. And
for how long?
For 2 hours.
Really?
For 2 hours. I would like to.
And I do not like horror games.
If you haven't finalized your game list,
yeah.
As much as I love Outlast, as much as I would say play Outlast,
yes,
I've heard that there's a game that's even scarier than that, and it's on the PS4. This game is called Visage.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've heard of that.
That doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun.
I would add that to your list. I would.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to see because I don't have my PlayStation 4 hooked up to stream. Sorry, Mike. I don't think
sounds like a cheap cop out.
Yeah, your PlayStation 4 can stream.
Oh
no, we need. Oh no, you can set it up. You've got time.
Okay.
You're good.
All right. So we'll yeah. So anyway, so I will have 4 games out there that I'll have a link to our fundraising page. We are looking to raise $1,000 for the Children's Miracle Network. The last time we ran this, we would have hit our goal, I think, but then the denial of service attacks happened, and and we got around 800. I think we got a little over 800. But let's see if we can hit it. We're gonna have a lot of fun activities. We're meeting this week, so Phil, I'll catch you up. I know that you can't be able to make it, but Ryan and Mike, if you are both able to make it, we'll talk more about what we'll have coming up, and we'll release more information about that. We'll tweet it out and such. So, but look forward to that. So, well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thank you.
And Phil, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Always.
And Ryan, thank you again. This is a real pleasure having you on the show. I hope you had a lot of fun.
Oh, I did. Thank you so much for having me again.
You're welcome. And Garrett, thank you behind the scenes. Garrett's running the show, so I want to thank him for running the show, getting clips. Like, this guy's amazing. Last minute, he's like, I'm going to pull clips for these games. He's amazing. So thank you so much, Garrett. You are well more worth the money that we pay you, which is nothing, but still you're worth way more than that. And listeners, thank you so much for listening. And like I said, if you like what you hear, leave us a review. We want to hear what you have to say about the show. We'll see you another 2 weeks. Next week will be the B Squad. They'll be back. They'll be talking more, probably some Destiny and other games that they're currently playing. They're coming out with some other segments too. So stick around for that. That will be next week. Stay safe and game on. And we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. See ya, everybody.
So long.
Take care.
Adios.